out there? Indie Adam here. I'm with the one and only
Sean Sanders.
And Sean, you and I go back.
We do.
We go way, way back. Back to the Stone Age, if you will.
I know it's been a long time because I want to say it was 2015 when we met.
I want to say it was.
Yeah, because I was just starting off and becoming into the whole industry at the time. So
I want to start off the interview today with a series of props that
Okay.
you may or may not recall,
Okay.
and just see if you can tell me if you recall the importance of them. Okay.
Okay.
Now the first one is very fragile and it is broken, so I'm going to hand it to you like glass porcelain,
All
and
right.
you tell me the significance of this prop. Okay.
All right.
So here's the first one.
Okay.
What is the significance of this prop to you? Do you even know what this is? First off.
Well, this was the prop that was used in, I believe, Obvious, right?
No.
No, this was in Star.
See, this is what happens when you get big and famous, Sean. You forget the movies that were in the beginning.
No, now I'm bringing back memories. This is from Star. That was the first one we worked on together.
Yes.
Yep.
And do you know why I picked this for you to take a look at?
Because this is that weapon that killed me in the movie.
Yeah, it's so cheesy.
This literally was the weapon that killed me.
Yeah. Can you tell us, or can you just refresh us a little bit about that scene?
So in that scene, I played one of the goons, the muscle of the mafia boss, and those that don't know, my character was pretty much the guy who would interrogate the main character. You know, kind of like, hey, give the boss his money, or we're gonna mess you up or whatever. And during that scene, the main character, the alien creature, Star, blasted me with this during the scene.
And you know it was so great because you're a character. Yours was one of the first digital effects, real digital effects. I think Chris Burns did, where he put a CGI hole in you. Do you have any recollection of that film? Because I don't think we've actually talked about Star at all in a good long while.
No, yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, no, but yeah, I just remember, what that day when I met you, the year when I met you, you were just working on that. I remember because I remember Andrew Lavin introduced me to you I remember it was at a Comic-Con, the Buffalo Comic-Con. I remember.
Yeah.
And I remember I came to audition, and then I remember I got the part, and I remember just being on set for 2 days, and it was a new experience. It was because I was just coming up, in the industry too, so I was getting used to the whole being on set and seeing how things work behind the scenes, behind the camera.
When you're given a script, how do you react to it, and what is your preparation for a role or for bringing a character in a story to life?
Well, obviously, I figure out, ask the director, what do they want with the character, and I hear the backstory. And if the character doesn't have much of a backstory, I try to add more to it, just to kind of understand the character. It also depends on the role too, because if it's a small speaking role, then I mostly just focus on the role, the scene that I'm in, and I'll get the script one full read and kind of understand the story, because I like to surprise myself, because at the time when the movie comes out, I pretty much forget what happened in the script, so I can watch it see it for the first time.
Yeah.
So
that's the truth too.
Yeah, so I only know my scenes, so so that way I like to surprise myself with that. So, but yeah, I just like to just figure out okay, what's this character's motive, what the purpose is, and just do what I can to bring that character to life.
Your first film was Patchwork Monster, and you played what character?
Our character was Proteus from the Erie Lagoon, and obviously it's a Gilman creature. That's a nod to obviously the creature from the Black Lagoon and Abe Sapien from Hellboy.
Yes, very Abe Sapien.
Yeah, definitely, and the movie was definitely a huge nod to the Universal movies, the Hammer films, and Trauma. So,
let me ask you this: is that film ever been released? I know it's been screened because I've seen it.
It has been screened, but it has never been released or have been re-released. I'm hoping and praying that it does at some point.
Yeah, that would be good because Emil Novak directed that.
Yes.
And Emil is a very visual director.
Mm-hmm. Very visual, yeah.
And I know he hasn't done much lately, so I'm curious to see that film eventually come to its fruition.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately, unless you have a DVD copy or know someone that has a copy of it, that's the only way you can watch it at this point.
Yeah.
But hopefully one day we can have a re-release day.
So what do you think people in the real world would look at the film industry, and what would you feel like they may not know about it? from your perspective?
I don't think they may know the. Well, first the struggle it is to make a film for one, because it takes a lot. Even just making one simple like 30-minute film or even 10-minute film, like it's just about the people you work with, the dedication that goes into it. Like, okay, where you got to go, the location you got to pick, and people think, oh yeah, that's just easy, when really it's not, because
Right.
there's really so much little detail that goes into making a film, no matter whether it's a short or a feature film. And I think a lot of people who are not used to that are very are obviously ignorant to like know that.
What type of like advice would you give to young artists trying to break into the film scene? Do you have anything you would like words of wisdom you would share?
I was like, yeah, just well, obviously keep creating no matter what, because whether people love your stuff or whether they don't love your stuff, just keep putting stuff out there. Always have ideas, write them down if you have them. Also, too, network. That's the biggest thing too. And like we said when we were coming up, don't be afraid to like, be on this set or go to this screening or go to this networking event. You gotta find ways to kind of make yourself known. And social media is also big in too. You want to use that to your nature too.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that you say that, because a lot of people are either have an ego, of course, or to a professional understanding, or getting themselves educated in understanding of how to get into this industry. They think that people come to them versus you kind of have to go to people.
Them,
Yeah, and I know that's probably a controversial thing to even say, but it's the truth in one respect.
Right.
Do you have a fond memory from set? If something funny happened, or if something a little more dangerously happened? Because independent film, people don't know. Independent film,
right.
I mean, sometimes you're working without insurance.
Right, yeah. I mean, any film I ever had on set, it's been nothing but a welcoming experience I've had. Knock on wood, I haven't had no bad experiences, but that's because I try to, just come to work, like ready to rock and roll, and just, be kind to everybody that's on set and work with everyone that, and just do what I have to do. You
wear a lot of prosthetics in a lot of the films that you've done.
A few, yeah.
And I'm just curious to know how do you manage the heat? How do you manage the constriction that comes with a lot of those?
Oh my God, it's
toys.
It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But you kind of, I guess you could say you train yourself for that stuff, because really what started that whole creature acting was when I started my seasonal job, Fright Road.
Okay.
I started because we wear costumes, we wear masks and stuff like that. So and it's warm in there, we run around, so we're getting used to that heat and stuff like that. So, but then that also led to obviously my first film and all the other monster work I've done. But really, it's just it's all about keep yourself hydrated all the time, and whenever you get dehydrated, and it just let people know, like, okay, this is uncomfortable. Please, like, you can fix this for me and stuff like that. And but I don't know. I guess it's something I figured out. It's hard to explain. It's just I guess I'm just used to it, I guess.
Well, you've done it so many times now. It kind of comes second nature. But with that, I'm just going back to the constriction of it all. I want to give you another prop to look at.
Okay.
If you're ready for it.
Okay.
And I just want you to explain the importance of this little baby here.
Okay, now this one, I recently wore this one. I want to say 2 years ago. I want to say I wore it.
Yeah. Now at this point.
Yeah, at this point, yes.
Put it up with your hand. I'm just curious. Like, see if you can put it towards the camera over there and see if you can put it up. Look, that is like that's pretty big. I mean,
yeah,
how did you put? Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you do your fingers?
Yeah, mostly just like that. Yeah, I had to do three. I had to do 3 fingers.
yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so anyone wondering, this is the hand, the Nemesis hand.
Yes.
For the new Nemesis from Ominous 2.
Yes.
And I had the honor to wear this.
Yes. And maybe someday you'll wear it again. Oh, yeah. Diggity.
And obviously this came with an actual mask too. So.
Yes, and that you put blood, sweat, and tears into some of these prosthetics.
Oh yeah.
Or excuse me, some of these costumes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's the one thing because I had a seminar that I taught last February about creature acting,
That's right, you did.
and I was telling people about that about wearing costumes and wearing prosthetics and being buried underneath a lot of like makeup and masks and it's like costumes and stuff whatever you wear and the importance of it is to like stay hydrated and like I said again tell people that that this is uncomfortable. I need to fix this or fix that, but yeah, the more you do it, the more you get used to.
How was this experience I'm just talking about this one because I know one of our biggest things was to keep you as cool as possible throughout
Right.
the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious how we did with that.
I'll be honest. Like at first the mask was a little tight. At first,
I remember that.
Getting
I
used to
remember.
that.
I remember.
I mean, because I'm just used to wearing masks that that was actually molded for my head size, which I actually had done before.
Yeah.
So this is actually the first time wearing a mask that wasn't in that. But after a while, it actually did fit better on my face. But yeah, I remember the first tries, it was very like claustrophobic in that mask. But in the end, I just kind of just like I take breaths and just think to myself, okay, this is like for the craft. This is like this is what I'm doing, and like I just like just fought through it, and it helped and it worked, and looking back, I was surprised that like I got through it too.
I'm surprised we all got through that.
Yeah, but I'm proud of myself for that, because again, it's not easy to do that.
No,
it's not easy because I've seen people do that, and I've heard stories of people say like, yeah, I couldn't do it. I was in there for like 3 minutes, I couldn't do it. I had to get out and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's not easy.
You are multi-talented for so many different things. Okay, one of them being you're an artist, like you actually draw.
Yes.
And what inspires you to draw? What gets you motivated?
I was like cartoons,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I grew up watching cartoons and reading like the Sunday comics, like Peanuts, Garfield, and such, and I just admire the artwork. And I'll watch Bugs Bunny or watch Disney, and I just like love the animation, and I'll just like sit there with a pencil and paper, whatever I could find around the house, and just sit there and just draw whatever I see.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I just started just drawing. I was one of those kids I'd be sitting in school doodling while the teacher's just like talking, up there.
Yeah.
I would get in trouble a lot for that, but yeah, later on, it just became a thing. I always wanted to be a cartoonist and just draw and paint. And it's just relaxing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, you've come a long way from your earlier days of me seeing you do art.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do commissions too, don't you?
I mean, I don't do it like regularly, but I mean, I do put it out there. Some people have reached out to me and has asked me to help out, like do commissions for either for as a gift or maybe do a poster for one of their projects.
Yeah.
Like I remember actually a fun story recently. The September Brothers, Michael and Golden. I love them. I love them a lot. Shout out to them. What started as a logo for Michael's character Spicy Bob and Dingus Day, it ended up becoming a thing where everyone wanted their own like drawing of their character from the film.
Oh boy.
So I did a couple more, and it's like, okay, this person said they wanted one, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do the entire cast, and they can see, and everybody loved it. So everybody in the cast got their own little drawing of their character from the film, like a little logo of that, and each one got their own one. So, and I thought that was really cool because it gave me a reason to draw, and people really loved it and admired it, and just like gave me nothing but props and respect for that. So
yeah,
that's really cool.
Now, you also created your own character in Fright World.
Yes.
Tell us about that character. And do people come out to just see that character? He's been so seasonal.
Yeah. Actually, this is the 10th year since I started that character. Well, because I've been at Fright World for 18 years now.
Wow.
I started in 2008.
Okay.
I started there.
You love it.
I love it. It's a very fun side job, and I even tell people, even actors I know, that it's a great improv practice job too.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're dressing up, you're being scary. I mean, and you get to like act when people walk through, but you gotta be on your toes like every 3 seconds because people are coming through nonstop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really fun job. I love it. But so Stretch.
Stretch is his name.
Yeah, Stretch the Clown is his name.
Yeah.
And I came out with him in 2016, and what started first, he was supposed to be a mad scientist. I remember.
Okay.
Because at the time we had 2 houses. It was one house called Insanity, and we have one house that's still there now called Asylum.
Okay.
And they wanted to do a mad scientist character to fit for those 2 houses. Mm-hmm. But then I remember my buddy Eric, who's my other clown buddy.
Who's my other clown?
Tiny the Clown.
Right.
Shout out to my buddy.
Right.
He's like, hey, so the owner wants to do another clown. He wants to give something like a brother or a sidekick or whatever. So I'm like, okay. And so I literally doodled like an idea of what I wanted my character to look like. I wanted it to be similar to Tiny the Clown, but just with his own look and different style, like the face style and everything, which is different color theme and different hair and whatnot, and obviously different characteristics
Right.
too.
Right.
And basically, I feel Stretch is basically what I wish I would be normally, because like he's more like very like outgoing. He's very just like loud and just like very fun. You know, I feel like the people that just love to go towards him. I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like that cool kid in high school that that you wish you could be like.
Well, that's that's the thing. Like sometimes playing a character, you get to play such unique parts where you get the ability to step out of your real life for a moment.
Yeah.
And bring something to life for people that may or may not like it, but
Yep.
it is, I don't know, there is a reward to it in some fashion.
Oh no, yeah, I agree, because that's the reason why I did it too, because I was a shy kid, in school at the time, and that helped me break me out of my comfort zone. I break me out of my bubble in doing acting. It just helped.
So Sean, you are in the process, or did you recently finish writing a film?
I did, yeah. I just finished the first draft of a short film I'm trying to hopefully get made one day, and not even 3 days ago I just wrote another one really quickly, like a micro short. So I just literally wrote it literally in 2 days, like a draft in 2 days, and I do have my good friend Kat Martinez, so we both know.
Oh yes, Kat Martinez.
She's gonna be helping me get those together. So and I appreciate that, because she's always been supportive of like.
Oh, she's supportive of everybody.
Oh yeah, everybody. Yeah, she's definitely like a queen of New York.
Yeah, if there was a cheerleading group for filmmakers, she would be the cheerleader.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Kat's the best. Shout out to Big Sis. I love
her
dearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, she so yeah, I have 2 drafts right now that I hope to get made one day, and so that's the big focus.
Can you tell us anything about it at all? Is it a role that you would play, or would you direct it, or would you just be in it, or writer, or what?
Well, one of them I do want to be in it. If I use that as like kind of like for like a reel, definitely the micro one, definitely I do want to be in that one. The first one I wrote, I would love to cast people in that one too, and hopefully direct it.
Yeah.
If not, I'll have someone else take the helm for that one.
Yeah.
But right now it's currently pen to paper right now, but I am working on a third one that I do actually want to direct.
You actually do want to get into that chair.
That one I want to get in that chair, because I really want to direct that one, definitely.
Yeah, directing is not an easy chair though. I will be honest.
It is not. From all the sets I've been on, it's definitely not easy. But
no.
But it's also when you have that vision, but you don't want to have that vision as a director. You're the one that knows that. You know how you want things and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's not easy. And again, people who are not familiar with the film industry, it's not easy.
No. Would you say trying to get into like mainstream films is a hard thing too? I mean, I know you've done a lot of background work too, and stuff in films and commercials.
Yeah, I've done a few commercials too. Yeah.
Yeah. Any commercials you feel that stand out as like a favorite? You were on Nick Groff's show.
Oh yeah, Death Walkers. Yeah,
Death Walkers.
Yep, I was in that one.
Yeah.
As far as commercials go, I know the one that stood out the most really was the Salino commercial I did, because because I didn't see the final look. I didn't know it came out yet.
Yeah.
So I started getting all these messages. People like, oh yeah, I saw you on TV on a commercial. I'm like, wait, was this the Salino commercial? It's like, yeah. I'm like, oh cool. Like I haven't seen it yet, but awesome. And then a few days later, I ended up seeing it too. I was like, okay, that's cool.
You know what's my favorite thing about that? Like the uniqueness of when you start working within this industry, you start meeting people that are either branching out and you see them on something like a commercial.
Yeah.
Or here's a quick one. Erica Fraze, I saw her picture at a Crosby's.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I almost filmed a movie in Crosby's many years ago when I was a young artist. So Crosby's, shout out to you for being so great to your customers and to your, people wanting to film in there.
And shout out to Erica too.
Erica, of course.
Another beloved, in the industry too. I did work with her too on her short too.
The 6 connections to Sean Sanders, like the Kevin Bacon. It's like, what has Sean done, and how has that like played into everything? But
that's new, but that's a new one. But okay.
I got to ask you this question: the character of Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Which you did play.
Yes.
we have talked about this before. Do you think Christmas Eve has a connection to the Grim Reaper and the horrific evil monsters and the grim life and all that? Do you think he is somehow, or would you want him to be connected into his story arc in some fashion?
Ma'am, let me just come out and say this. Are you some kind of wolf?
I mean, Christmas' background. I mean, he was in the military. So I'm sure he's seen a lot of death in his time. So I'm sure a lot of that could come back to him. In some way. When he sees the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a lot for the Reaper to definitely take.
That would be an interesting story to explore, though. Like the in-between story between when you were going like to purgatory after the werewolf ripped you apart.
Now, how did that happen?
I don't know.
And yeah, who knows it? Yeah, like maybe he could obviously the Reaper has to reap the soul. So
right.
At some point he did had to
yeah.
take Christmas's soul at some point. So
That's some deep thought.
So I'm sure at some point he might have met the Reaper at some point, like Grim himself. Christmas could have crossed paths at some point. How that would have went? That's a big question.
That's a big question.
But
would it be something you would be interested in?
That would be really cool to actually play two roles like that.
Yeah.
To play normal role, play creature role in the same thing. Which I did that recently too.
What's that?
So last summer I did a Western horror short film.
Okay.
Hope Milbauer and Jack McMillan directed it, and I play a regular civilian, and I get to play the creature of the film. And that's currently post production, so I'm not sure when that's gonna release yet, but I got to do that. So doing that is really cool. I had to play two different characters in the same movie.
Well, Sean, we've come down to my favorite part of any type of interview that I do with anything. It's called the Fast Five.
Okay.
So these are 5 questions that I'm just going to rattle off to you. You have to answer them as quickly as possible.
Okay.
But they only need one-word answers.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I have also thought of it in that fashion. So here we go. If you're ready.
I'm ready.
Film or TV?
Film.
Drama or comedy?
Comedy.
Hero or villain?
Hero.
Fame or privacy?
Privacy.
And then last but not least, instruction or preparation?
Preparation.
Dude, Sean. You want to work all the time, man. You're like the Waldo of the Buffalo area, man.
I love working with people. No matter whether you're new, if you got potential, if you know what you're doing, I mean, I will definitely help you out. And another thing too, lately,
and if you don't know what you're doing, he'll be there.
I'll be there to help.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be there to help and
yes,
give some insight. I won't take over your job, but I'll give you some insight. But actually lately too, I've been working a lot behind the camera too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of PA work, helping out with sound and such too, and just being helpful behind the camera was something that I've been doing a lot more of.
Yeah.
So that way I can have 2 different things. I can help in front of the camera, behind the camera, whatever you need me. So.
Well, Sean, it's been awesome, man, and I hope we get to do this again. I'm sure we will. This is long overdue.
Oh yeah, definitely long overdue. But I'm glad we did this, and thank you for having me, man. It's always good to see you, man.
No problem, man.
Definitely.
Okay, we're good. Let me cut it all. Wow, those lights, man. Go ahead. They make you hot after a while.
Take 3.
All right. Now, you and I are big DC fans.
Yes. Love DC.
And the question I would have to ask you, and I really want to know,
okay.
is James Gunn or Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder. I feel like Zack Snyder did not get to tell everyone his full story like he should have. I mean, we did get the cut, which I was very glad he finally released. But reading the direction he would have went in that I wish we would have got that. I really think he needed to show that his vision.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. I mean, I love Snyder's direction, but
yeah, and there's no reason 2 film universes can't exist in the same time.
Right.
And I think that the thing with DC is they always had multiple projects going at one time. Example, cartoons, different Batman for cartoons, designs, and all that. You had your one-off movies, the one-off cartoons, the games. There was a grittiness to it. That's what
comics,
DC was.
Yeah, comics too. Like they're everywhere. You know.
And I really feel like there's been a ham put into some of the, like a little bit of, like a put into the DC brand now versus like love and attention to the stories.
Right. I mean, I felt a lot of that maybe with the studios like haven't gone back and have rewrites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they think it's too gritty, which I actually don't think it is. Not
it's not.
It's dark. Dark comics for a reason.
Yeah.
They got to be different. They got to be show grittiness and such. But I mean, they got to make it family friendly. They it's too dark for kids. But it's like.
Let me just say this.
Just teach them.
Let me just say this. If I saw a Joker, okay, a Joker from I don't know the '60s Batman, okay, and I saw him walking up to me, I would just think it's a weird guy with some makeup on.
Right.
If I saw Heath Ledger's Joker,
right,
or if I saw Jared Leto's Joker, I would think I don't want to mess with that guy.
Right.
Okay? He's got something wrong upstairs, and he just is a little bit too intimidating for me.
Right.
All right? I don't mean to go so hard on this, but
no, I get it.
I'm going to tell you, I'm a very big supporter of the Snyder vision. Not to say Gunn's vision isn't acceptable. It's just not for me.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to support that. But was there anything else you would say about DC? Batman's like one of my favorite characters.
Oh, same here. I'm all. It's funny. The reason why I love Batman is the reason why people don't like Batman. It's the fact that he doesn't have powers and that he relies on a lot of like his wits and his gadgets but that's what makes him awesome because I like that because even though he's a moral human who's like mastered so many martial arts and again he's just smart and he can take out anyone he knows.
Yeah.
Like he'll know your weakness before he even takes you on basically.
Yeah, and I'm just not looking forward to what the Vision has currently. But nonetheless,